Very early in the morning here in the ham shack. The clock is now striking 0600 hours. I'm doing an Echolink video in case this helps anybody out there. It just helped me. I figured it out. Let me wait for the clock to quit chiming. Okay. I've been unable to use Echolink forever because I'm using my Verizon cell phone, which I'm filming this video with. This is Echolink, as a hub for my internet. So for whatever high-tech reason, it blocks my internet from connecting to any of the nodes or stations. So I was on Echolink yesterday using another way to do it, and a guy came on and said, yeah, you have to set up I'll show you, although this didn't work. I'm just telling you what he told me. Go under Setup, Tools, and Setup, and then there's a Proxy tab, and then there's a Direct Connect, no proxy, which is the default. Normally you don't need that. Then there's Use a Specific Proxy, which he told me to hit. Find out the IP address of my cell phone as a hub, which I had to call Verizon to do, to figure out how to figure that out on my phone. Then you have to set the port and whatever. I figured out what the IP address was, but we could never figure out the port. And after hours on the phone with Verizon, one of the best techs they had, that's who they had to connect me with, said, we can't tell you what the port is. We don't know what the port is. And if we were, we couldn't tell you, because then you can do all kinds of stuff you shouldn't be doing, blah, blah, blah. So I could never use a specific proxy, which is the middle tab. So, it's pretty frustrating. So I said, well, I'm never going to be able to use Echolink on the home PC as long as I'm using my Verizon hub. I just kind of left it at that. Well, this morning I just said, well, I rebooted my computer last night. Let's see if it works. So it didn't. So there's this third option down here. Use a public proxy, and it gives you a drop-down list. And I said, let me just try that. I don't think it's going to work. So I hit choose a public proxy, and there's a whole list of them. I just picked the very first one. I think it's out of Buffalo, New York, and hit OK. And all of a sudden it starts reading everything and boots up my station list that I've got saved as favorites. And I'm like, wow, maybe this is going to work. So I went to Highgate, which is the one I wanted to monitor on Echolink, and lo and behold, I'm connected to Highgate. I don't use Echolink a lot. I'm more of a purist when it comes to ham radio. And I realize there's radios involved in all this, so I'm not saying it's not ham radio. I'm just saying I don't get a huge thrill out of, say, talking to somebody in Europe via Echolink, where I'm going to stick a sticker on my map and count it as a contact. I've actually got on the Nuremberg, Germany repeaters and talked to people in Germany in German, which I like to do because I learned it in college. We used to think it was one of the languages you needed. But I'm not saying I don't have a use for Echolink. It's just I'm not a digital person. But there's a couple of things I want to use it for. Number one, I like this Highgate system. I want to monitor it and listen to it when I get, if I don't have any of the other radios going and I'm not wanting to do any other modes. And there's another one called the Wind system, which I'm really into listening to. And they have a TechNet on Friday night, like last night, that I listened to. But they have a streaming audio on the internet. So I use streaming audio. You can't transmit, you can't interact with anybody, but you can hear it. It's got like a 20-second delay on it. But Highgate doesn't have that. Not that I could ever find or contact anybody in Highgate. Yesterday I got in touch with the Highgate. I used Echolink to talk to them, and nobody knew a streaming audio site for Highgate. And I've searched the internet high and low, and I couldn't find one, so there's no way to monitor Highgate. So now I can get on here and monitor Highgate, which I'm on right now. You see it says connected. And that's the Highgate link. So you go under System Setup, under Tools up top, down to System Setup, then the third tab is Proxy, and then you go down to the third option, which is Choose a Public Proxy. I don't know if all those are going to work. I just got lucky. I picked the first one. It was out of Buffalo, New York. So evidently I'm connecting through somebody else's internet, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And it's working great. So that's pretty refreshing to know that. Now I'm going to cancel out here. Let's see what this audio tab is. Because it's really loud, I had to turn my whole computer down. Performance. So I'm going to cancel. I don't think it hurts anything. And then I've got a bunch of favorites set up. I don't know if you know, but down here there's two tabs. There's an index view and an explorer view. You have to be an explorer view, and it gives you out to the right the locations, node types, alarms, new. These are new Echolink nodes. So you can kind of look through. Like, see, there's one in Freiburg. I can connect to Freiburg, Göttingen, Germany, There's one in Bangkok. These are just new Echolink. Saudi Arabia, that'd be an interesting one. I would not mind checking that out. So there is some cool stuff you can do with Echolink. You know, I just don't get real excited about making a contact using Echolink, but there's some interesting stuff. San Francisco. Of course, I have a node on here. I don't use it. There's Bangkok. I'd like to do that Saudi Arabia one. I'm almost afraid to log out of this Highgate conference to check it, but I'll do it later. And then I've got 27 favorites I've got saved. You click on the favorites tab over here. I know you can't read it from back here. I'm sitting in the recliner in my shack. But I've got Alaska, Tucson, Montana, Fort Worth, Texas, to a repeater up there. K5RAV down here, the Harlingen repeater. I can talk through Echolink to that. This is going to help me this summer. Of course, I'm not going to have this computer with me. I'm going to leave it. I have thought about bringing this computer with me in the summer because it's awesome, but it's certainly not portable like the laptop, and the other disadvantage is you're going to have to run the generator to run it. So I don't think it'll run off 12 volts. So I'll probably leave it. Arctic Circle repeaters, Denver. There's a repeater in Las Vegas. I got North Las Vegas. A couple more in Denver. Another one in Las Vegas. So that's how to connect to Echolink through a public proxy under Tools, Setup, Proxy tab, the third option down. And I'm only doing this video so if it helps one person out there, that's what it's for, because I had to figure it out. There was a guy on the Win system yesterday that knows the Echolink system inside and out, so when I asked for help, he came on and talked to me, and he had me trying that other option, and then I was on the phone with Verizon forever, and finally determined, yeah, we can't give you the port. So I even tried Googling Verizon ports to figure out if I could find it, but I never could. So even though this guy knew Echolink inside and out, he didn't have me select a public proxy. That would have solved the problem. I just did it through trial and error just now. Just looking at it, I said, well, what the hell, give it a shot. And here it works. You know, no guarantee it's going to work next time, but it seems like it's doing fine. Let's do this. We're going to have to do it sooner or later. Let's disconnect from... Okay, we just disconnected from Highgate. Now we're going to go under New, and we're going to try that Saudi Arabia. Okay, there it is. Now I'm going to add it as a favorite. So you highlight it, and then you right-click, and there's an Add to Favorites. So I just added it. Let's try to connect to Saudi Arabia. Connect, busy. Oh, that's a bummer. Let's try Bangkok. It's trying to connect. Uh-oh. It's going to time out on me, I think, which is usually what it was doing when it wasn't working. Let's hope that doesn't happen now and I didn't just get lucky one time. timed out. So let's go back to favorites and let's try to get into go back to Highgate. Alright, we're in.
You're linked to the 88 USF 900 megahertz repeater located in Somerset, Ohio. Please remember to ID.
It's a 900 megahertz repeater. Wow. Somerset, Ohio. I don't even know where that is. So I'm connected to the Highgate now. Usually there's a lot of action on Highgate. I listened to it. There's a repeater up in Vegas. I brought my HTs with me. And there's a 447 megahertz 70 centimeter repeater up there that's connected to the Highgate. So that's what I'd listen to at night when I was laying in bed to help fall asleep. And I actually bought my Bofang radio with me as well as my Kenwood. And that way I would charge my Kenwood to take with me during the day, and I'd use the Bofang to monitor. And that was a really good thing to do. I mean, you could listen to the Kenwood and charge it at the same time, but it's quicker to charge it without listening to it. So I brought 2 HTs with me, and that worked out really well. That Bofang's a nice little radio for the money. It really is. I hadn't used it in a long time, and I was impressed. It's a good little radio. You'll never find a better HT for cheaper. I guarantee you that. Anyway, that's the Echolink public proxy mode. I was hoping somebody would talk on the Highgate. You know what? Let's disconnect from Highgate and let's connect to the Wind system. Oh, that's right. I don't have an Echolink for that. Never mind. Go back to Highgate. Okay, we're back in the Highgate.
You're linked to the 88 USF 900 megahertz repeater located in Somerset, Ohio. Please remember to ID.
We're clear.